Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? The Saints had rookie minicamp this past weekend, and so we're kind of getting to know the rookies a little bit. And one of the really intriguing prospects in this class is Kendre Miller. He's 20 years old, the running back from TCU, had a boom junior season this past year for the Horned Frogs, and missed the national championship game with a knee injury that he suffered in the semifinal win over Michigan, and has still been rehabbing that MCL injury. He had surgery, and he's been rehabbing it, but should be good to go for the start of the season as we're all anticipating. But one of the big questions about Kendre Miller is whether or not he is ready to take over that role in this organization that Alvin Kamara has held down since he was drafted back in 2017. And one of the big questions therein has been whether or not he can catch the football, because that's been such a massive part of Kamara's game and his role within the Saints organization. Alvin Kamara, in his 6 NFL seasons, here's Kamara's receptions by year: 81, 81, 81, 83, 47, 57. Alvin Kamara, we all know it, as good of a runner as he is, and at times a returner as well, his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield has been his game-breaking, game-changing role, because he's always been sort of in tandem with Mark Ingram or Latavius Murray. He's been one of those guys, or Latavius Murray.
Murray, present. Murray, present.
It's only 4:06, dog.
We're caught up, though, on that, right?
Yeah.
That was those two?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Got it. I'm just glad we'll get to that, what you admitted yesterday. We'll get to that later. And the thing about, so we all know Kamara, it's been a massive part of his role in New Orleans. Kendre Miller just didn't catch passes at TCU. As a freshman, he caught 1 for -4 yards. As a sophomore, 12 for 117. As a junior, 16 for 116. So in his entire college career, Kendre Miller caught 29 passes. Alvin Kamara, in his 2 seasons at Tennessee, caught 34 and 40 balls. So it's not just like Kamara showed up at the Saints and started catching passes. He was already doing it in college. What's interesting is in this interview that Kendre Miller gave to the Saints website, he talked about how Dennis Allen told him that they know Kendre Miller has that skill set. He's just never been asked to do that. Quote, this is Kendre Miller, quote, "How they use Kamara is kind of unique. And watching film every day, we watch a bunch of clips of him. How they use him in the pass game, that's pretty cool. I feel like I can step in and pretty much do the same thing," end quote. Yo, the guy they just drafted is telling you that he is sitting there with the coaches, watching film every day of the guy on the team and what he does catching the ball, saying, we want you to do this. When you look at Alvin Kamara's contract and the way that they've structured it, and the fact that Kamara presently has a ongoing legal situation in Las Vegas and has not been able to stay healthy the last 3 seasons, it tells you everything you need to know. Like, they draft Kendre Miller, and you're like, yeah, that's probably the guy they're thinking is going to replace Alvin Kamara. They drafted him in the 3rd round. Same place they drafted Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara, going into this season, they have an off-ramp for his contract after this year. You know, they would save 15 or 16 if they move Alvin Kamara pre-June 1st, after this season. They save $16 million against the cap. Basically, the expectation is Alvin Kamara is not going to be a member of the New Orleans Saints in 2024. And look, it pains me emotionally because I love Alvin Kamara. When he exploded, I mean, I did this whole stupid bit where I called him my boo thing, and I love him. I am in love with him. I love Alvin Kamara. I mean, yes, it's silly, and I get it, but the point is, he has been so dynamic and so special and so fun to watch, but the reality is, that is the reality for running backs in the NFL today. Don't get attached to them because their careers are fleeting. Kamara's had 6 years in New Orleans. His time is probably done here. Look at what the Cowboys invested in Ezekiel Elliott. His time there is done. It came and went very quickly. The end approached just rapidly. It was on you before you even knew it. It's not even a gradual decline. It's just abrupt, and now you move on. And that's probably what the Saints are going to do with Alvin Kamara. They signed Jamal Williams. They drafted Kendre Miller. They are moving on from Alvin Kamara. That is at least their intention after the season to move on from Kamara. Now, maybe Kamara, with all he's up against right now, has an explosive season, and I would love to see it, man. I would love to see it for AK. I don't know if I believe it. And so the Saints are doing the right thing to say, we got to prepare for the inevitability that this is going to be his last year in New Orleans. We've set up his contract to where this is it. We brought in Jamal Williams. We drafted Kendre Miller. We got our guys. We have our future at this position. And oh, by the way, Kamara may miss 6 games this year due to suspension. So all of the circumstantial evidence tells you what you need to know. And then here's Kendre Miller telling you he's sitting there in the film room with the Saints coaches watching cut-ups of Kamara saying, this is what we need you to do. It's what he's going to do. So, and for what it's worth, Jamal Williams, his first 4 seasons in Green Bay, his receptions, 25, 27, 39, 31. That's with Aaron Rodgers. And then the last 2 seasons in Detroit, 26 and then 12 this past season when he led the NFL in rushing touchdowns. Y'all, Jamal Williams is going to fill the Mark Ingram role. Kendre Miller is going to fill the Kamara role. I mean, that's what they're moving on to. So prepare yourself for it. Because this is probably Alvin Kamara's final season in New Orleans. And Kendre Miller is going to get ramped up to be out the next Alvin Kamara in this offense. He's 20 years old, y'all. He's 20 years old. In a league where the shelf life of a running back continues to shrink, where success at that position is fleeting, where you don't make long-term investments into running backs, that's what the Saints are looking forward to. They realize the end is here for Kamara, and they're moving on to Kendre Miller. And that passing of the torch, so to speak, is going to happen this year. And Kendre Miller's telling you flatly, the coaches are sitting with him, preparing him to be Alvin Kamara. So, would love to see Kamara have an awesome year. Chances are what we're going to see is what we've seen, which is a guy who has struggled to stay healthy of late and passing the torch to a younger guy with a ton of tread on the tires and fresh legs who's probably poised and primed and ready to be that next bell cow for New Orleans. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.